I told you nobody picks winners. Not fund managers, not analysts, not your cousin with the hot tip. But here the obvious question. How do I invest at all? There's an answer. It has been around for 50 years, it's boring, and it works. Hi, I'm Marco, and welcome to Reaching 10. On this channel, we talk about early retirement in Europe without hype, focusing on what actually works. We have seen that owning a stock means owning a part of a business. Some businesses do spectacular, like Coca-Cola selling water and sugar for more than 100 years. Others do die, like Lehman Brothers, or do perform badly, like Kodak or Nokia. But you do not know in advance which are the winners and which are the losers. Here you have two options. The first one is that you study harder, very few succeed, and even professionals who do succeed have bad decades. The second option is that you stop trying picking individual businesses, but you own a little bit of all of them, and you let the average work for you. This is called diversification. Now let's make an example about the orange juice stand, and this orange juice is making fantastic profits for 3 summers in a row, until there is a rainy summer. Obviously, in that summer, the business has some problems. For instance, they need still to pay salaries, but they are not selling orange juice. So if you were a shareholder in that business, you would have some problem, unless you hold also other businesses. Let's imagine, for instance, that you also owned a small part of the umbrella shop. And let's imagine that you also owned a part of the business making websites for all the other businesses in the city. And let's imagine you also owned a part of a bike shop. You got the point. You can own a small part of all the businesses, meaning that you are not owning only one individual businesses and its associated risk, but you are owning the entire street. That is the idea of diversification. Now, diversification is also important for another reason. When you own a stock, the price of the stock is a constant story in your head. This is because the price goes up and down all the time while the market is open. And you start questioning yourself, should I buy, should I sell? But sometimes the reason why the price changes has nothing to do with the underlying business. The bakery is still making the same bread, Coca-Cola is still selling the same Cokes. The price changes because it's the meeting point of millions of opinions. There could be a person that needs to sell because of a divorce. There is somebody who wants to buy because he believes this is a hot stock. And there could be an algorithm selling 100 millions of a share on a Wednesday at 2:47 because it believes that that stock is overvalued at that point in time. This is why the price moves, but remember, could be completely unrelated from the underlying business. Now, when you own only one business, that noise is very big in your head. But when you start owning many businesses, the noise goes down. Why? Because if in one day a stock is going badly, but the other one is going up, then the average is the result of the noise. So the noise is smoothed out because you only get the average of this noise. So that is the second benefit of diversification. It prevents you from picking the wrong business, and it helps you reducing the noise from the stock market. Practically in the 70s, to own 50 businesses, you need to buy 50 individual shares of each of these businesses. Today, it's pretty different. This is because in the 70s, indexes have been invented. An index is simply a list of stocks. These stocks could be aggregated because of different principles. These principles could be, for instance, geographic, sectorial, and so on. Let's take some famous examples. One of these is the S&P 500, that contains the 500 biggest companies in the US. Another one is MSCI World that contains thousands of the biggest businesses in the world. Another one is FSTE World that contains several thousands of stocks around the world. Now, surprise, surprise, you cannot buy an index. But what you can buy is a product, a financial product that tracks these indexes. This brings us to the modern way of investing, that is via exchange traded funds. An ETF is a product that does the boring work for you. You buy one share of that ETFs and you own efficiently all the stocks that are contained in that list. So with one purchase, you can buy hundreds, sometimes thousands of business with one click. This is the orange juice business problem solved at scale. And this is why this is the most important invention for normal people in the last 50 years. Not because it's clever, but because it makes the boring, correct strategy accessible. That's the answer to how do I invest at all if I can't pick winners. You don't pick winners, you own a list, and a common way to do so is via an ETF that will allow you to buy 50, hundreds, or thousands of stocks with one click. But, and there's always a but, there are two things we have not considered in this video. One is that diversification helps you not owning only one business that will go to zero. Many businesses can do bad at the same time. The market does fall, sometimes for a while. The second thing we have not addressed yet are fees, because this strategy works only if you do not let the fees, the cost, eat a big portion of what you are investing over time. Both of those, what you actually risk and which are the costs, are the subject of our next video. I'm Marco. Let's engineer your freedom. See you in the next video.